Hi guys, I'm Parrie. I am from Texas. I've lived in Austin the past 5 years, and I moved to Barcelona, Spain. And I've always wanted to live abroad. I already lived in Sydney, Australia when I was 23 as an au pair, and I turned 30 this year and thought, okay, time to check another continent off the list. And Europe was on the bucket list, so here we are in Barcelona, and I love it. From when I did the Move Abroad Academy sign up, the masterclass that you did, to when I got on the plane, it was about 6 to 7 months. Okay, well, I'm going to be completely honest. When there's too much information thrown up at me, I would rather just throw my hands up and just say, I can't handle this. Like when I just was like Googling how to move abroad. There's way too many websites. There's way too many options. And so you popped up on my Instagram because my phone must have been listening. And it was like, Gina, join this free masterclass. Okay, sweet. Like what's a free like masterclass gonna do? It won't hurt. And during the Q&A that's at the end, I was already signing up with it. You had everything listed out for me when I saw your PowerPoint, and we actually had so much in common because you and I both played volleyball. I ended up playing at a school that you visited, and we're almost going to play at. And so we had mutual friends, like we knew mutual people. We were around the same age, kind of wanted to do the same thing. So I really related to you in that regard. And when you had everything listed out, like this is the visas that you can get in Spain, these are the visas that you can get in Guatemala, these are the visas that you can get in Italy, yada, yada, yada. It just made it so much easier, and it was so much more concise that I would have never been able to do it. So the price for me and the investment, no brainer. You saved so much time and energy and like headache and anxiety. It made it so easy. And the amount of people I'm like sending your Instagram to, like, okay, if you want to move, here you go. Here's your Nothing girl. Was essentially missing from my life. Like if you looked from an outsider's perspective, I had a great job. I had a great apartment. I lived in an awesome city. My family's great. My friends are great. I played volleyball in Austin. I was pretty happy from the outside looking in. But when you go really deep and you start to get, here's the vulnerability aspect of it all, but when you start to get really deep and think about what was missing, like I was just kind of missing adventure. I was missing just what made me me. And I went to, I travel around and I always come back after international trips, be like, I am the best version of myself when I travel. And that's all I would say. I'm the best version of myself. Like I am happier, I am healthier, I just have more fun, I'm carefree. And I actually had my therapist, I came back from the wedding that I went to in the south of France in June. I had my therapist, and my post-travel blues hit me worse than anything that I had from a post-travel. I cried every single day for 7 days straight because, again, I wasn't going to work. I wasn't like, I didn't have anything like kind of motivating me to get back into like a regular life. I was unemployed. I was figuring out where I was going to move, what I was going to do, like applying for jobs, reaching out to my LinkedIn connections, everything. And I was crying every single day because I felt like I missed home in a way. It was like I missed Europe. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and she was like, well, why don't you move there? I can't do that. And she was like, well, why not? And I was like, well, my family is here, and my life is here. And she was like, yeah, so she was like, they're still here. Like, when has that stopped you before? And I just thought I was like too old to restart. Almost 30. I should be having a boyfriend. I should be having a husband. I should be having babies. I should be moving up in the corporate ladder. And I just kind of sat on that, and I was like, that's interesting. And I mean, it was like a switch went off in my head, and I was like, you're right. Like, that's what I need to do. Like, if I felt it in my body, I feel like I've worked on being very intuitive with how I feel and what I've been trusting my gut more. And the women's intuition is such a thing. And just being human, their intuition is such a thing. And just actually listening to it and be like, okay, what do I want? I know what my parents want. I know what my sister wants. I know what my friends want. I know what my bosses want, but what do I want? And to have it be moving abroad and doing this crazy adventure so on brand for me. And without the academy, I never would have been able to move in less than 7 months, 6 to 7 months. There was no way I would be able to get all of my documents in order, be able to select the visa that I wanted to be on, have someone help me walk my hand, like, okay, Shauna's just going to hold my hand and we're going to walk through this together, Parrie. I told you this 3 times, but just, I know you're nervous. So here, I'm going to tell you one more time and you're going to get it. Because I was just an anxious Annie. It made it to where it was accessible. It was easy. People think, oh my God, well, what did you do with your stuff? I'm like, I sold it. Well, how did you know what to do? I'm like, well, I had someone help me. Like this, I had a coach help me and give me a list of everything that I needed, X, A, B, C, D, E. So I knew it and it was achievable, and it made it so much more simple. It made it simpler. It was easy and manageable. I never would have been able to done it on my own. And I don't even know if I've told you this, but I talked to a couple other, I reached out and sent emails. I saw some stuff pop up on Instagram and they were like, oh yeah, but you're not gonna be able to move in a year. You're not gonna be able to do that. I was told that, so I just knew that they weren't my people. And you were like, I was like, I want to move by January. And you're like, oh sweet, we can do that. I was like, sweet, okay. You're just as crazy as me. But one piece of advice that I would give to someone who's a little bit on the fence about joining it is you just kind of have to ask yourself, you have to find the why, or essentially the why not. So for me personally, it's like, oh, well, like, oh, I don't know if I should join this, but like, why not? Okay, let me just join it. If it all starts to go well, it goes well and it works out. And if not, then that's okay. I can come back. But I also had to find my why. Okay, so why is it that I'm moving? Why is it that I'm interested in going there? It's because my life is great. Essentially, my life is fine, perfect, but it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't like what I feel like I'm called to do and be on this earth for. And so my why is finding out that purpose. Okay, if I can do something more, what is that? I'm always curious. I'm always looking for the next thing. So I feel like you'd have to really define your why not, and your reason. And I think you also have to see if it, are you going to regret it, not trying it? Is the regret worth it? I'm very bold when it comes to these because I'm like, you got to live a bold life. Got to be bold. Since joining the academy, I've saved, I would say, around about 5,000 to we could go upwards of 15,000 because of just visas and lawyers and is this document right? Is this document right? Oh, but what if I want to switch visas? Maybe I have to apply for this one. And if you're all doing it on your own, that's just chaotic in general. And time, hours. Before I joined the academy, and I just was doing it for a couple weeks by myself, it was overwhelming. I don't think you could put a price on anxiety, on the anxiety that I had and the stress that I had when I didn't have someone when I had to list out everything that I needed. Hours. You're probably looking at upwards of 40, 50 hours alone, like a month, that you're just like, okay, well, this website says that I need to do this, and this website says I need to do this. This consulate website is different from this consulate website. So which one do I actually follow? It's insane. So for you to do all of that for this lazy girl, loved it. You made my mental health so much better. The stress was all mine. Well, I wrote this fun fact down because we were talking about, and it's little stuff like, what have you noticed since living here? It's little things that people notice about me. And I had one of my really good friends here who I'm actually going to Azerbaijan with. She looked at me, we were at the beach the other day, and she was like, Parrie, I was stalking your Instagram the other day. And she looked at me, she goes, you just got like your sparkle back. And everyone around me has made a comment of just about how happy I am here and how it's in my face. And they're like, it's your eyes. It's all your eyes. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. Your girl hasn't done Botox yet, but it's just like you are happier. I'm walking 25 minutes there one way to school. So I get my steps in. I wrote down my average step count this time last year was 4,278 steps a day. I am now averaging almost 13,000 steps a day.
Wow.
And my clothes aren't fitting. I don't have indigestion is bad because the food is different, and I'm eating smaller portions because I'm not used to massive portions like in America. I mean, I went home in June and I was pigging out because I eat pasta here every day. I make pasta every night for my dinner. I eat pasta every single day. I was doing the same thing back home, and I was sick and I was lethargic, and I was just like, oh, it sucks. Driving everywhere sucks. And it's just, there is just a difference in the way of life here. People don't take it too seriously. I think America's known for, like, you know, we make a lot of money, and we're very innovative. And there's a lot of things that I love about being an American. But there are also so many things that we can learn from other cultures as well when it comes to the life aspect, the living aspect. And everything that they do here, they prioritize family, they prioritize friends, they prioritize connection just with strangers. I mean, Barcelona is one of the most internationally diverse cities in the world that I've ever been in my entire life. And so you're meeting people from all over. And I was at the beach with my friends, and we were learning about, oh, well, what do you do for Christmas? And it's all so different. It's all so different. You would think it would all be like somewhat similar. My friends in Brazil, it's summer for them. So they're at the beach, and they're giving gifts to the ocean for what they wish for the new year. And I have my friends in California who do something different, who go surfing for Christmas or whatever the case may be. And then I have friends in Amsterdam, and they're eating soups, or my Spanish friends are eating soups for Christmas. And then my friends in the Netherlands are doing something completely different. So you just have the different understanding of how people are the way that they are. And because that's all you want as a human, is to be still seen and heard and to have connections. And I think that's like the most amazing gift that you can have, is just having all these other connections with people around the world and learning. That was a tangent I was not prepared to go on, but here we are.